Reese, I'll tell you what, just hop in the bus, head 78 miles northeast. You're going to end up on I-96, follow all the green to where they're waiting on the #2 team in the country as you're watching the Big Ten on ESPN. Final 2 weeks of the Big Ten regular season. You look at the standings, top heavy in the East. The Spartans a chance to play spoiler. Ohio State today, and then at Penn State next week. It has already been a November to remember, and now perhaps more drama today. As we say good afternoon, everybody. Thrilled to be with you. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge. We'll say hello to Holly in a moment. I feel like we've seen this Ohio State script before, Todd.
Yeah, the last 3 years. Overcome a disappointing loss, get refocused, recentered, and then position yourself to play your best football down the stretch. 2 years ago was good enough to get the Buckeyes into the college football playoff. They're hoping it does the same thing this year.
We'll see, obviously, weather a factor. We'll talk about that in just a moment here. Ohio State has won the toss. Michigan State will receive. These two teams have split their last 6 meetings. Road team has won in the series going back to 2008. Of course, last year, Michigan State in Columbus. Michael Geiger last second field goal to topple Ohio State 17-14. As Tyler Derman is set to kick away. Dangerous R.J. Shelton set to return. As he lets it go over his head, and we go to the field to Holly.
Well, guys, as you might imagine, the weather not ideal here in East Lansing. It is a blustery, yucky day. Let's take a look at our weather map. Temperature right now is 37 degrees, but it feels like 21 with wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. We have seen rain, sleet, snow, and wind today. It is a terrible day here, but both teams will have to overcome these conditions. The biggest factor right now is the wind down here on the field. I've got a very fancy wind meter down here, and I've recorded gusts up to 12.8 miles per hour, which will make it difficult for quarterbacks to throw the football. So the ground game's important, and this field is in good condition. It is Kentucky bluegrass. It's been covered with a tarp until up to about 2 hours before the game and is draining well.
Stay warm, my friend. Could be a long day down there. As the Spartans come with Shelton on the end around, gets a good block, and they'll start off with a first down run.
Shelton came to Michigan State as a running back and has continued to develop as a wide receiver. They want to run the ball inside, but you open it up right away with the wide receiver sweep for a good gain, and you give that Ohio State defense, which is so fast and play it at such a high level, something else to look at and to think about.
Tyler O'Connor, senior quarterback. As they run the jet motion again, fake the pass, come back the other side to L.J. Scott. Well blocked again, and here goes L.J. Scott. Hello, end zone, 64-yard touchdown.
Two plays, two excellent calls by Dave Warner, the offensive coordinator, and beautiful execution. Exactly what the Spartans needed.
As Geiger tacks on the extra point.
Perfect execution on this double screen. Watch the quarterback and then watch the center. Number 75, Benny McGowan's going to get out and get the key block on the double screen. 75, there's the block that L.J. Scott needed. And Michigan State in 2 plays in the end zone. And building on the momentum that they got last week when they ended their 7-game losing streak, off to a quick start against the Buckeyes today. When we talked to Mark D'Antonio and all the coaches and a couple players yesterday, there was a sense that they had belief that they were capable of playing in this game and winning this game. They felt they were better than their record indicates at 3-7. And no better way to start to prove that point than what they just did.
As Kevin Cronin will kick away. And this will be Paris Campbell from about the 6. As he gets to the outside, and a good return by Campbell. It was Cronin who had to run him down. 32-yard return. Well, you know what has happened in recent years. 2013 Big Ten championship. Then number 10 Michigan State beat then number 2 Ohio State 34-24. And November 21st, 2015, as Geiger celebrated windmill style, and the Spartans beat then number 3 Ohio State. And Mark D'Antonio in his 10th season, and he said, listen, if you were at practice this week, you wouldn't see us as a 3-7 team. There was great energy and great focus. Mike Weber with a good looking run to get the day started. J.T. Barrett, 98 touchdowns responsible for. That ranks second all time in Big Ten history. He is 24-3 as a starting quarterback at Ohio State.
Joined in the backfield by Mike Weber, the young running back, one of the 4 Michigan natives on the Ohio State team.
As he shakes loose, keeps his balance, and a great effort by Weber to the 39-yard line of the Spartans.
2 big runs in a row right inside, attacking this young defensive front for Michigan State. Weber breaks a couple tackles, and if it were not for Justin Lane, number 39, that would have been a touchdown.
J.T. Barrett on the designed quarterback run. He's got real good wiggle to him, a gain of 10. The impact players are brought to you by Jared, the Galleria of Jewelry. We just saw Mike Weber. He was a recruiting gem that everybody wanted out of Detroit's Cass Tech. 7 rushing touchdowns on the year. Curtis Samuel is the breakout star this season. Of course, Riley Bullough on the other side. They're man in the middle for the Spartans.
Yeah, and Samuel will move all over the field. They'll try to get him the ball right away.
There's Barrett, as he didn't have many options there.
One of the things Michigan State really wants to do with J.T. Barrett, they already got the 1 sack, but they want to move him off his point. That first down play, they moved him out of the pocket, and he had to throw the ball away.
2nd and 10, another run for Barrett, and this time he is dragged down at the 34-yard line by Riley Bullough.
Michigan State spreading out to cover receivers, and J.T. Barrett is reading that. There's just one linebacker in the formation. They're getting a block on him, and he's run it twice for good yardage on that little quarterback draw.
Now Weber and Samuel in the game together here, as Samuel's in the slot to the near side. 3rd and 3.
Weber averaging 8 yards per carry so far.
And Barrett with ease as he dives ahead inside the 25.
Well, you have to respect the 2 guys with speed. Here's Weber. Here comes Samuel. You got to account for both of them. And J.T. Barrett's going to keep it himself and follow his right guard, Billy Price, for the first down. And that's a lot to look at if you're a Michigan State linebacker or a defensive back.
First down pass lofted to Curtis Samuel for the Buckeyes. Touchdown.
When you can run the football and have success, whether it's your quarterback running, whether it's your running back running, that sets up your play action. That was a beautiful play action fake by J.T. Barrett for his 24th touchdown pass of the season.
7th receiving touchdown of the season for Curtis Samuel. And that ties us up. Maybe one of the most underrated players in all of college football, Curtis Samuel from J.T. Barrett. And we got a good one in the snow here in East Lansing.
Which means all 4 of these defensive backs are responsible for a quarter of the field. But watch the safety get locked in on the play fake if there's nobody that shows up in your corner, you can float and help. But he got so caught up in the run fake, he couldn't help his buddy on the other side. And Samuel turns the other safety around, a quick move to the post, and the touchdown. But the play action fake is really what set it up for the Buckeyes.
Well, Curtis Samuel's from Brooklyn, New York, and when Urban Meyer went to recruit him, he said, I was out in the cold weather standing under a raised train track in Brooklyn at night. I said to Ed Warner, who was recruiting him, boy, this kid better be worth it. As only one player in FBS with 600 receiving yards and 600 rushing yards, I think he's worth it.
Erasmus High in Brooklyn. As Shelton takes a knee.
This is a very important possession for Michigan State. Their best chance is if their offense can run the football, which they've been doing pretty well the last 3 or 4 games. But their defense is going to struggle with Ohio State today. They're going to have trouble stopping all the things Ohio State can do on offense. They must run the ball and possess it.
And here is Scott as he gets free. And L.J. Scott, what a show he's putting on. Another chunk play for the sophomore Spartan.
This is just good patience by L.J. Scott. Watch him pause a little bit in the hole. Right in here, he's going to just kind of pause and allow some linemen to get on blocks. And then he squirts through and shows acceleration to get into the secondary. It was well blocked, but his patience is what made the play.
They run option with O'Connor as he falls ahead for maybe 3 yards there. But L.J. Scott,
I think it's safe.
Career-long 61-yard run.
I think it's safe to say that he plays his best so far this year against the best opponents.
No doubt.
Career high against Michigan State, or against Michigan a few weeks ago, and off to a great start today.
You know, that's when he really reemerged, because he hit a rough patch in the middle of the year. Had that fumble against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
But he's had a bit of a bounce back here in the second half of the season. 2nd and 7 now. As they go to the up back line, it'll be 3rd down and 6.
One of the things and one of the reasons why Michigan State having a little success offensively against this tough Ohio State defense, it's a different system. It's a different look, different personnel groups. Ohio State, every day in practice, they face their own offense, which is a spread offense. Empty backfield, some a single back. They don't see a lot of 1 or 2 tight end sets. And it's difficult to prepare for, and it's difficult to get used to all the reads and the adjustments you have to make during the course of the game.
Gerald Holmes flanking him. Corley in motion. And he's going to be able to move the chains.
What a great block by the fullback. Prescott line, number 45. Another jet sweep. Watch 45 get out here on the edge and get the cut block. A conservative type play, but when you execute like this, you got a chance to convert on 3rd down. And Michigan State with another big conversion.
Donnie Corley's going to have a very bright future here with the Spartans. High-level recruit, enrolled early, and he is fast. Holmes stays in as the lone back here. Final minute of the 1st quarter. Here's the pitch to Holmes, and that was well managed and disciplined defense by Ohio State. McMillan was the first to get in there, Todd. A loss of 6.
Yeah, Raekwon McMillan, the leading tackler on this team, read it so quickly. Here he is right here. His eyes are locked on the backfield. He's going to loop to the outside and read it so quickly and gets underneath the block. The center, Benny McGowan, trying to get out there in front of him, and McMillan too quick on his read and his pursuit of the football.
Our leading tackler, as Michigan State is looking for a little more in the cold winds and flurries of East Lansing. We got a fun one in the Big Ten.
Josiah Price, the tight end, 21 career touchdown receptions Big receiver this part of the field.
2nd and 17. O'Connor trying to get free as Tyquan Lewis got just enough of him. A gain of 8.
That's a good call because you're not going to get it back against this defense in one play. Give yourself a chance on 3rd down. Now you can run a play where you maybe run some routes into the end zone. 2nd and 17. Nice positive gain to give yourself a chance here on 3rd down, and still very much in. Look at this.
They got a muddle look going on here as they're going to direct snap now as R.J. Shelton takes the handoff. He's looking to pass. Left with few options on 3rd and 9 as Jerome Baker came up to play it.
Well, Ohio State, credit them. They didn't panic. They deployed enough. They had enough guys over here for anything. The quarterback's right here. And then they had enough defenders on this side to just not panic and read what Shelton wanted to do. It's good, solid discipline. Luke Fickell, defensive coordinator, along with Greg Schiano. Not sure that's a play they prepared for, but they handled it and adjusted to it right.
And perhaps an advantage that they flipped sides for this 2nd quarter on the field goal attempt by Geiger. As with the win that is significant today, he's able to put it through and give 3-win Michigan State the 3-point lead over number 2 Ohio State. But right now, it is as you thought things could play here with Michigan State, as did their coaching staff, in terms of having the attitude they wanted, the weather they wanted, right, and the pace of game that would favor them.
And their offensive line is playing well enough to keep them in this thing right now. Their defense has come up with some timely sacks at the right time as well.
Paris Campbell on the return as he struggles to get to the edge. As Barrett is taken down hard that time by Panishuk.
Panishuk, another one of those young guys, a true freshman out of Illinois. This defensive front from Michigan State, we already talked about, they're missing their best player, Malik McDowell, but from last year's team, 3 starting defensive linemen all in the NFL right now, and they've been replaced by a lot of youngsters that have bright futures here, but still learning on the job.
Shalik Calhoun and Joel Heath, Lawrence Thomas. As Weber is met. Let's go down to the field to Holly.
Without Malik McDowell, possible 1st-round draft pick on this defensive front, they are so young. 3 freshmen, but more important, not experienced starters. Josh King, just 2 starts. Mike Panishuk, 1 start. Raquan Williams, just 1 start. And Robert Bowers, 1 start. Guys, a total of 40 tackles amongst these kids, with Raquan Williams with the most, 21 tackles. So
illegal helmet contact, hands to the face, defense, number 98.
Well, penalties won't help him like that, though.
No. That's Demetrius Cooper, and it'll be a 1st down for Ohio State.
Well, those were 2 good defensive plays in a row, and that penalty really hurts them. Left side, there it is. Hand right up in the underneath the face mask. That's an easy call to make, working against Jamarco Jones, and an unfortunate penalty for this Michigan State defense.
Weber and Samuel both split out of the backfield. Empty look here on 1st and 10. Barrett is complete that time as he gets it to Campbell just beyond midfield.
It was a tough throw right there by J.T. Barrett because he was under duress from Riley Bulla, who came on a middle linebacker blitz.
Weber to the near side, well blocked, and Mike Weber rides his way inside the 30. The Buckeyes on the move. Little something extra now with Nicholson, and a flag comes out.
Well, this was really well blocked by the wide receivers. Curtis Samuel with a great block.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, offense number 73. At the end of the play, dead ball, personal foul, defense. 15-yard penalty. Both fouls will be enforced. First down.
The foul against Michigan State, I think, was Monte Nicholson, number 9, at the end of the play on the sideline.
Bill Lamagna is our rules expert. Bill, what do you got here?
Well, as the play goes out of bounds, there was contact between the two officials there. It's a good job at first of the officials getting in there, but sticking your hand in a guy's face.
That should have been on Ohio State, not Michigan State, right?
I agree.
I mean, the penalty went against Nicholson. I think it should have been 2 penalties against Ohio State.
Bill, you agree with what Todd just said?
I agree. There should have, both of them were in each other's face. Both should have been unsportsmanlike conduct calls.
Bill, is there anything we can't pick up here on video? Perhaps language, something that was said?
No, I think they just missed the finger in the guy's face.
But I'm not sure what, I mean, they're marking off. Oh, now they're coming back.
They originally had another foul on a different player that was live ball. That's the one they're first walking off. Now after the second one, because it's on the defense, that's an automatic first down.
So they tally it to a first down at the 37-yard line when all was said and done. Bill, thanks for the help there.
The first penalty was on Michael Jordan, the left guard. That was a live foul. And the second penalty on Monte Nicholson of Michigan State.
Samuel, as he gets it to the 30-yard line, taken down by Chris Fry.
Part of the uniqueness of Curtis Samuel, you line him up in the backfield, you run him between the tackles. They also let the defense deploy and move him out of the backfield and try to get him isolated in pass coverage.
This time Barrett pulls, and with that decision, he's close to the line to make. And it should be enough for the first down, depending on this spot here.
The reason that can be so effective with a guy like Curtis Samuel is you allow the top secondary guys to go ahead and cover the wide receivers, and then you move him out of the backfield, and more than likely you're going to get a linebacker or a safety matched up on him, and that's an advantage for the offense. Like right now, here he is, and that's a safety over the top, not a corner.
First down, Barrett with time, nearly intercepted that time. As you could see, Dowell breaking on the ball.
JT, a little dangerous on this pass. The ball hung in the air. It was thrown to the inside, intended for Weber. And Dowell almost had a big interception. It might have been a pick 6 for the Spartans.
2nd and 10 now. Barrett to the end zone, beyond the diving effort of McLaurin.
Well, credit Riley Bulla on a delayed middle linebacker blitz for just causing J.T. Barrett to throw this a little bit too far. Riley Bulla is right here, and he's not going to come right away, but he's going to delay blitz. And because of that, Barrett is not quite able to step all the way into this throw and get the touchdown. His receiver had a step. Ball just a little overthrown.
A roaring Spartan Stadium on 3rd and 10 for the Buckeyes. Barrett's going to run for it. And he is cut down by Nicholson.
Nicholson making up for the penalty that was called on him earlier with a big stop on J.T. Barrett and forcing a field goal attempt.
Javi, what's the situation with the wind Tyler Durbin is facing here with this attempt?
Well, right now it's at his back. He's kicking into the wind, and it's only at 2.8 miles per hour. So right now, very quiet on the field. A good time to kick a field goal this direction.
39-yard attempt to tie it for Durbin. And he does that. He has had a sensational year. Of course, just one moment against Penn State. Other than that, perfect. tied up 10 apiece here at Spartan Stadium. These two teams have split the last 6 games. And that was the scene yesterday, as it was beautiful here. Folks were taking photos on campus. And now strong winds, snow, cold temperatures, Big Ten football in November, meaningful football, and a tie game with the #2 team in the country, Ohio State, just moments ago tying things up here. Durbin got under it a little bit, and because of it, it'll be fielded at the 8-yard line by Shelton as he works his way towards the 25. Let's go. L.J. Scott back to action with a gain of 2. Holly, what was up with L.J. Scott on the sidelines there?
Well, you know, during that entire defensive possession, he's been over here on the bike, riding the bike, keeping that ankle loose. He looks like he's out there trying to play right now, but I feel like he's lost a little spring in his step since that last long 61-yard run.
This weather certainly doesn't help that either. But Michigan State needs L.J. Scott. He was off to a great start. They need that adrenaline to kick back in for him to have a chance in this football game. They've got to run the football with success.
O'Connor sprinting near side as he floats it, and it is picked off by the Buckeyes. A heck of a play by Chris Worley.
Well, that shows you the athleticism of this Ohio State defense. This was not a horrible pass by O'Connor. It was just a beautiful play by Chris Worley. He drops right underneath the route and makes a leaping interception, the 16th interception of the season for Ohio State.
And it was Chris Worley who had the pickoff, and thus the 37-yard line is where Ohio State will take over as Samuel shifts back into the backfield. Play action. Barrett, pressure on him, and he is taken down. And there's Cooper and Bowers in the 3rd sack of the game for Michigan State.
Well, just another timely rush by Michigan State. It's just a 4-man rush, and a nice job getting there. Demetrius Cooper was the first guy to get there and flush him out of the pocket, and Bowers ends up with the sack. But Cooper, with his quick rush, was the first guy to collapse the pocket on J.T. Barrett.
So now a 2nd and 16. Mike Weber to the top of your screen as they go empty again. Snow is coming down harder. Barrett trying to dance and spin his way through the middle and back to the original line of scrimmage.
Ohio State has moved the football against this defense, running it, throwing it, but timely sacks by the Michigan State defense have kept them right in this thing, and that's why the game is tied at 10 apiece.
3 sacks for Michigan State against that group. Can Cooper do it again?
Ohio State 2 of 5 so far on 3rd down. Samuel down at the bottom in the slot. Right here.
They only bring 4. Pick up the stunt. Barrett with time. Over the middle. Complete that time to Marcus Ball.
Marcus Ball was in a trips formation to the top. He's going to come in from this direction, and Curtis Samuel is coming underneath. I think Barrett was looking for Samuel first. Good job of going to a secondary receiver, and his big tight end gets the conversion for the 1st down.
12-yard reception on 3rd and 10. And now Barrett, a tough run met by Chris Fry, gain of 3.
The last time J.T. Barrett played in this stadium, he had a great game against the Spartans. 300 yards passing, 86 yards rushing, accounted for 5 touchdowns.
That was 2 years ago when they won 49-37. They have won 5 straight here. Just a brief moment of clearing from the snow. Here's jet motion with Samuel. And good job staying with it by Chris Fry. It'll be 3rd down and about 3.
Michigan State trying to overcome that turnover. When we talked to Mark D'Antonio about some of the reasons for the downturn this year, one of the things he said, turnovers. The last 3 years, they've been the best in the Big Ten at turnover margin. This year, -4. They were plus 14 a year ago, -4 this year, trying to survive the first turnover of this ball game.
Remember, they turned it over 4 times in that loss to Wisconsin. And that started the bad roll, the 7 straight going south. 3rd and 3. Inside handoff, and Met stop, fumble. Spartans are on it. Fumble recovery that time. Alexander came up with it.
Well, Riley Bulla was the first guy to get there, and he forced Mike Weber to try to bounce this play. There is a flag down. Bulla forces him outside, and I think coming from the other side, Austin Robertson, number 94, ripped the ball out.
Assessed a sideline warning.
So they trade turnovers here, and the Michigan State defense comes up big. Just the 2nd red zone turnover for Ohio State this year. That you have to believe, and that he felt his team very much believed that today could happen and play this way. As L.J. Scott's got a lot of green ahead of him. They start off this possession with a 24-yard run.
Watch Cody Keeler, the right tackle, just collapse this side of the Ohio State defense. The corner goes with the receiver because it's man coverage. That leaves nobody out there on the perimeter. And Cody Keeler, the right tackle, just sealed the edge. A lot of man coverage by Ohio State. So when a guy goes in motion, that defender has to go with him and voided an area there.
Damian Terry in the game right now at quarterback. Remember, he was mixed in last year against Ohio State as well, and he's going to throw his first moment in the game, and he's going to go downfield incomplete. Was looking for Madaris, covered by Ward.
Well, I love the call. Even though it was incomplete and the ball sailed a little bit on Terry, it's a good call because everybody on the Ohio State sideline is thinking if this guy's in, it's quarterback run game. And so the first play he's in, they throw it. If that ball's thrown a little bit more towards the middle of the field, they might come up with the completion.
Well, Terry upset about missing an opportunity there. 2nd and 10 now with Tyler O'Connor back in the game. And this time Scott has nowhere to go as McMillan and Landers pull him back.
Coming into this game, Ohio State only allowing 111 yards per game rushing, 3.2 yards per carry. Michigan State with 114 yards in the first half. Again, we talked about it. Holly showed you that starting lineup chart for 3 years for Ohio State. This offensive line for Michigan State today makes their 7th combination of starters that they've had up front. Due to injuries and different situations, holding their own so far in this ball game.
Straight ahead they go with O'Connor.
And right now, Mark D'Antonio, that's a field position play. Ohio State so far in this first half has had a huge advantage in starting field position. Right out around their own 42-yard line, Michigan State backed up. He's using this opportunity and that conservative call on 3rd down to try to flip the field here late in the 2nd quarter.
Hartbarger. He gets off a very good punt this time. Turns it over as Samuel muffs the ball inside the 5 and has to fall on it. So flip the field he does with a 52-yard punt. Jake Hartbarger.
Timeout on the field.
A fun time here in East Lansing. These November games, aren't they interesting, folks? 10-10. But so far, we've got the most intriguing happenings right here in East Lansing. Ohio State from the 4. Samuel wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage. That was Cooper again. Williams getting involved as well.
Raekwon Williams is one of the older guys up there. He's a redshirt freshman. He's got a couple true freshmen lined up next to him.
It's amazing how young they are. All the guys had all the experience and success in recent years, but at some point you grow up deep in the season. Could today be that day?
The more reps you get, the more you see things, the quicker you react to them.
2nd and 10. Barrett spins free. Again he does. Breathing room. Ball came out at the end
They're
there.
saying he was down.
He is down. But a 9-yard run by J.T. Barrett with those 2 spin moves.
I'm not sure how he got the ball out. This is what you call a mesh charge. They're going to hit right at the quarterback and the back. And Barrett pulls it out, spins, and again, he's a crafty runner. He's not a dynamic runner, but he's very crafty and elusive enough to be effective.
And you can see he was down there. So a 3rd and 1. Under 2.5 to play in this first half. And Barrett will give him a fresh set of downs. Ohio State will get the ball when we start the second half here. 3-7 Michigan State. But you know how they've been playing in this series lately. The last 4 games between them, plus this half, they have now each scored 114 points even, 10 apiece here as we go back to Adnan in the studio.
Well, Coach, you're playing without one of your best defensive players, Malik McDowell. How do you describe the way your young defensive front has stepped up and put pressure on J.T. Barrett?
You know, guys are playing hard, just playing one play at a time. That's what we got to do, just hanging. We're hanging tough.
You had a nice call there to flip the field position. How did that pay off for you going into the half?
Well, we flipped the field on him with the turnover, I thought, but, you know, we just got to keep playing, being able to run the ball a little bit, have some big plays, got to convert touchdowns.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Glad you're with us, enjoying the Big Ten on ESPN, as the Big Ten is going to play such a huge role in these final weeks of the regular season to see what happens with the college football playoff. And right now, the number 2 team in the country is all tied up here on the road at Michigan State. You saw L.J. Scott, those couple big plays, and then you've got this down here, the sacks by the Michigan State defense.
Well, think about this now. Last year, Michigan State's defense had 37 sacks on the year. Coming into today's ball game, only 7 for the whole season. They have 3 in the first half. That's the difference in the ball game. Their young defensive front, being able to pressure J.T. Barrett and knock them back some, has made this a really interesting football game.
What do you look for out of the Ohio State offense here early on?
Well, I think they're going to take it out of J.T. Barrett's hands from a running standpoint a little bit, try to get Weber and Samuel more involved in the run game, and I look for him to take some shots down the field, trying to throw the football and drive it down the field a little bit.
So Ohio State will receive the ball to start the second half here.
So far in the game, Ohio State has not really tried to throw the ball down the field. That's not necessarily one of J.T. Barrett's strengths, but I think they need to try to threaten this Michigan State defense with something down the field.
The ability to adjust, Urban Meyer and his stats record when trailing at the half. They know how to do that. I'm talking to a couple of the coaches, and they said that's really the sign of coaching in these games in this league.
The ability to adjust, how quickly you can adjust, who can stay ahead of whom in the adjustment game.
As Kevin Cronin will get us started here in the second half. As he drives it deep, and we go down to Holly for AT&T Inside Access.
Well, Coach, you're playing this Michigan State team that's got nothing to lose today. What did you ask of your guys in the locker room just now with energy and emotion here in the second half?
Yeah, they had 2 big hits on us on defense that we don't normally do that. But don't take away those 2 big hits. We're playing fine. We turn the darn ball over in the red zone. We don't do that. So execute. We get the football here. Do what we do.
JT Barrett, 15 runs. Do you worry about running him too much, or how much can you ask?
No, we just got to move the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Urban bothered by the turnover in the red zone. That was Dylan Alexander who recovered that fumble. Remember, Ohio State was in good shape with an interception. Good field position, and then Michigan State forced the fumble. So here is JT to pass to open things up to Samuel.
JT Barrett in that first half was 6 of 12, but only 64 yards, so nothing really down the field. Of course, the wind a factor in that.
Just when we mentioned what a year Mike Weber is having, he does this. Finally tracked down by Nicholson. He is over 1,000 yards now.
Nice job blocking at the point of the attack. Watch the tight end ball. He's going to come in, fold in here, and seal off the linebacker. Weber gets right on his hip and then shows the acceleration once he gets to the second level.
52-yard run by Mike Weber. Buckeyes in business here to break this tie.
Ohio State now with 177 yards rushing. Coming into the game, 267 yards average per game.
Samuel offset here as Barrett will run it straight up the middle, and he is taken down by Boa and Panashuk. Second and 5. Barrett looked one way, runs straight up the middle again, and it will be first and goal, Ohio State.
You know, that's kind of a run-pass option. He looks out to the left. If he liked the matchup out there, he can throw it. Otherwise, he's going to keep it. And again, his decision-making over the course of his career has been outstanding. Even when he was a first-year starter, that was something that really stood out about JT Barrett.
There's a little conversation with the right guard, Billy Price, prior to this. And straight up the middle, Mike Weber.
Michigan State tried to run a little twist with their linebackers, and Ohio State ran right into the area between the linebackers for the touchdown.
8th rushing touchdown of the season for the Detroit native, Mike Weber.
After we gave you the Aflac answer, Mike Weber, as if on cue, went over 1,000 yards with this carry, and a few plays later gets the touchdown, and just perfect execution. Watch the linebackers split, and Weber goes right in between them for the touchdown.
And that 4-play drive that took only 1:46 with a big 52-yard run. It looked a little more like the Ohio State team that we've seen in recent weeks. A team that scored 124 points in the last 2 games in quick order. Holly?
Well, Mike Weber leads the FBS in rushing yards by a freshman, but a really cool moment that went viral before the season when Tony Alford, his running back coach, called his parents and told them he was going to be the starter.
Your son has done a great job. And so I want to give you guys a call to let you know he's today we're going to name him the starting tailback at Ohio State.
Oh, my God.
I know, right? No.
I think that mom's scream and jubilation for her son is everything, and he has lived up to that.
He has, Holly. It's thrilling for his mom, Tony, his dad, Mike Sr., of course, from right here in Michigan, where many considered him perhaps the best running back to come out of Detroit high school football in a couple generations. And it's a fierce recruiting battle between Urban and the then newly hired Jim Harbaugh at Michigan for Mike Weber. As this is kicked out of bounds with a sophomore running back. Is back in motion now. As play action off of it, and then they get it to L.J. Scott, who goes high hurdling for a first down right over Garyon Conley.
Well, this guy did two things on this play, Joe. First of all, he reaches down and catches on a cold day a low throw with his fingertips. And then he has the presence to leap for the first down over Garyon Conley. This guy has come up with big plays when Michigan State has needed him.
So Gerald Holmes in at running back now, as they bring Line in as the fullback and motion Shelton, and they will give it to Holmes, and he's wrapped up by Worley. And that'll end the third quarter.
Timeout on the field.
As Mike Weber was able to break loose and then score it to give the #2 team in the country just a touchdown lead headed to the fourth.
Long pass to L.J. Scott, only 53 yards passing for Michigan State. So Ohio State now, they are just saying, look, we don't respect the pass game. We are going to crowd the line of scrimmage. We're going to run blitz. We're going to get more guys up around the ball than you can block. And we are going to force you to try to beat us throwing the football.
Here's Damian Terry. As that throw was well off the mark. Joe Tessitore, Todd Blackledge, Holly Rowe with you here to start the fourth quarter at Spartan Stadium. #2 team in the country, only up a touchdown.
These third and longs don't help if you're Michigan State's offense. You got to stay ahead of schedule so you don't play into the hands of this pass rush in this talented secondary.
3rd and 16 as Terry stays in as the quarterback.
Michigan State has missed their last 5 third down conversion attempts.
And that's going to be short of the necessary yardage as he finds Price. So Urban Meyer here with a 7-point lead. He is 54-3 as the head coach at Ohio State when leading after 3 quarters, but 2 of those rare 3 losses have come to Michigan State.
Amazing record everywhere he's been. I think it's just as amazing. He's 2-2 against Michigan State and 36-1 against all other Big Ten opponents since he's been the head coach of the Buckeyes.
This is a fake right here. Can they get there? Yes! Michigan State needed a little magic, and Chris Fry provided it.
You just knew they had to try something like this because their offense was running into a brick wall. Perfect execution. Riley Bullough with the key block. He's one of the personal protectors. He's going to get out in front of it. And Fry, the guy they nicknamed Caveman, comes through with the big conversion on 4th down.
That referencing the fact that they say he's a throwback, the kind of guy that would have been comfortable playing in the 70s. Hard-nosed football player who comes up with a big one. 25 yards on 4th and 6. The fake punt. They needed a little something. Now can they deliver on it? There's Scott.
Another good
Churns it ahead inside the 25 for 6 well-earned yards.
Michigan State could have got called for a hold on that time. Cole Chewins, the left tackle, pulled on it on that play and got away with one. They've gotten called for a couple holds already in this second half. But they're ahead of the sticks, which they have not been much with the football here this second half.
2nd and 4. See if they can stay on schedule trying to tie up this game. He gets to the edge. He'll have another first down, and he's inside the 15-yard line.
Same play to the left that they ran earlier. Again, you've got the tight end and the fullback. Josiah Price, 82, the fullback. Prescott line out in front of the play. And they get to the edge on this Ohio State defense. Now 204 yards rushing. They've got a 1-yard rushing advantage over Ohio State in the ball game.
They're going to feed him. And he wiggles his way to about the 8-yard line, tackled by Raekwon McMillan.
Why do I say that about the rushing? Under Mark D'Antonio, since 2010, Michigan State is 57-8 in games that they outrush their opponents. When they get outrushed, 17-25. That's 73-15 is overall with him here. Even better since 2010. But right now, they hold a slight advantage in the rushing game.
152 yards rushing is a career high for L.J. Scott. The number that matters now, though, is 7. Grabbing hold of a touchdown for the Spartans. He cuts back to the inside and tries to work his way to the 5-yard line. It'll be third down from there.
Again, a nice block by Prescott line, the fullback, and a nice read of that block by L.J. Scott. Red zone touchdowns. Ohio State very stingy. 3rd and 3. Only 8 touchdowns and 28 red zone attempts Ohio State has given up this season.
And Mark D'Antonio told us yesterday his biggest concern has been struggling to score in the red zone. 3rd and 3.
Does he look at this as a 2-down situation or not?
Scott. A little help from your friends for 1st and goal, Spartans.
Well, again, you want to know where the ball's going on this drive? Follow Prescott line, number 45. Follow the fullback and watch L.J. Scott just get right on his backside and follow him towards that goal line. That is Michigan State power football. Six straight runs for L.J. Scott. I got to believe he's getting it number 7 also.
Stacked up a wall of Buckeyes, including Baker.
Well, this play was made by number 67, Robert Landers. The smallest guy up there among all offensive and defensive linemen. He got such quick penetration, he knocked the center over and right into the backfield. That was an incredible play by the freshman, Robert Landers.
2nd and goal. Under 5 minutes to play. Spartans looking to tie it up against the 2nd-ranked team in the country. And what do we have here? L.J. Scott.
They pull the center, Benny McCowan, and Prescott line just puts his face on people on this whole possession. I think they're going for 2 here.
Michael Geiger is not out on the field. With 4:41 to play, Mark D'Antonio is going for 2 to try to take the lead. Here it is, folks. Will we have disruption to the playoff rankings? O'Connor to the end zone. And that is intercepted. The 2-point conversion fails. Eric Smith corrals the ball.
Well, they tried to get it quickly to Jamal Lyles. Miles, number 11. He was open for an instant, but this defense is so fast. Watch number 11. He's open right there, but he's not going to stay open very long. And the ball's intercepted.
They give him credit for taking a chance.
Watch how they defend. Michigan State is going to have 3 receivers potentially on this play, and Ohio State is going to cover all 4 of them. Right as he's ready to throw, look at him. They are all dead on this play, and he has nowhere to go with the football. I mean, that is good disciplined defense by the Buckeyes. After giving up the touchdown, no letdown in their concentration, and they snuff out the 2-point conversion play.
A 2-point conversion called by Mark D'Antonio. A team that had lost 7 straight is playing without their best defensive player. He's probably wondering how many knocks on the door will I even get, and he decided to go for it and try to take the lead here with just over 4.5 minutes to play. Squib kick from Cronin, as it'll be settled in at the 37. Ohio State with field position at the 37. And Barrett threw it to the outside of McLaurin that time.
JT Barrett just not on point today throwing the football. Obviously the wind playing a factor, but now 10 of 22 and only 86 yards worth of completions. Ohio State only 113 yards in the second half of offense, and 52 of that came on 1 play.
Second and 10, he will run it, as he was able to get some help from Weber on that cut block, and then Hicks makes the tackle. 8 yards there.
Again, another nice crafty run, because Michigan State came with a corner blitz. It was blocked by the guard, Michael Jordan, but he stayed inside on that run play. Michigan State with 2 true freshman corners in the game right now, in Corley and Lane, 29 and 39.
That is Samuel in the slot to the top of your screen as the number 3 receiver, and it's going to be Barrett getting to the edge to midfield, and a first down, Ohio State. And that is the 4th time today that he has rushed for a first down on 3rd down.
Yeah, he has not had a good day throwing it, but boy, has he been effective running it. 23 carries now, knows what he needs for the first down, gets north and south. See him protect that ball with both arms. Urban Meyer said he has been a tough guy, a great manager, and an on-schedule quarterback as good as he's had.
Weber, the pursuit got to him. As Andrew Dowell lost a 6, penalty flag is down.
I think it's going to be a holding on Elflein again.
Holding, offense, number 65. Penalties decline. 2nd down.
To pull him out again in center. It's a tough thing to ask a center to do, to pull out in front of a play like this. It was well defended. That's excellent technique by Robert Bowers, number 91, to keep that outside arm free. And now it's 2nd down and long. JT Barrett trying to utilize as much of the clock as he can.
Michigan State with 2 timeouts remaining. Trying to tuck and run, spins free somehow. A flag is down. This could be coming back, no matter the fact that they missed him.
Just outstanding run. I think they're going to get the right tackle this time. Isaiah Prince.
Holding, offense, number 59. 10-yard penalty, repeat 2nd down.
It's a little line stunt between the right tackle and the right guard, and Prince got caught. Watch the lineman twist. And Prince is the guy who gets called with the hold, trying to block the inside rusher. But again, the niftiness of J.T. Barrett as a runner, I mean, it's fascinating to me how good he is at eluding pressure and being effective as a runner.
Second and 26.
All of a sudden, that field position they had after the short kick, they're going backwards, and Michigan State, it's working out for them at this point.
Will they get the ball back? Can they manage the clock? Well, does Ohio State have a little something in them offensively? Here's Weber. So it'll be third down from there as Alexander comes up with the tackle.
It's a big run. Big run by Weber.
Ohio State, number 2 in the country. And all week long, the conversations when it comes to the playoff has been, it doesn't matter if there's a Big Ten championship attached to their name. They are in prime position. Will they still be after this? 3rd and 15. Barrett's going to run. And he is taken down well short, Demetrius Cox. As Johnson will try to pin this. And he's got a shot, but then it goes into the end zone for the touchback. So 2:04 to go, and Michigan State back on offense.
L.J. Scott has done his part, but Tyler O'Connor, Josiah Price, R.J. Shelton, 3 guys that were honored on Senior Day today, they need to step up in this drive and make some plays.
Let's see what they have in them here. Tyler O'Connor. How will they start it off? Pressure, fumble, ball loose, still loose, fighting for it. And I think O'Connor pulled it back in, but Tyquan Lewis disrupted everything, and the clock will count down with no timeouts remaining with Michigan State.
Yeah, Cody Keeler, the right tackle, just got overmatched on that play. The speed rush.
O'Connor now from inside his 5. That's a wobbly one downfield, and it is intercepted by Garyon Conley.
Pressure in both cases on the first 2 plays. First play, here comes Tyquan Lewis for the sack. They got their rushman package, their 4 best pass rushers. The ball's knocked loose, 2nd and long. Now watch Jalen Holmes come in here and disrupt this 2nd play. Right in the face of the quarterback. The ball's underthrown to the inside, and Garyon Conley with the 17th interception of the season for this Ohio State defense.
Team captain from the famed Massillon High School. And Ohio State is going to dodge this threat. A great battle with a team in Michigan State that hasn't been so great this year. But did they ever step up today? And Ohio State dug in and fought hard. And Todd, I wonder now, in framing the playoff conversation, because everybody loves taking every angle possible, will we hear some of those saying when it comes to Ohio State, well, if Mark D'Antonio didn't go for a 2-point conversion, who knows what we'd be talking about?
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be people saying that, people outside of the Big Ten that aren't familiar with this rivalry and how tight these games have been played will maybe look at this and raise an eyebrow. And I guess the big question will be, coming into today, Ohio State looked like a very strong and solid number 2 in the college football playoff. How strong will they be at the end of this weekend?
Reminder that after the full day of college football, we're going to have Bucci and Anderson on Sports Center at night. They will wrap up the day. I'm sure the decision by D'Antonio on the finish here will be part of the conversation. They'll get you set for the full day of the NFL. That's after USC, UCLA. What a thriller to get your college football Saturday started. Only the beginning. Michigan's coming up. A big one in the Big 12 tonight. But right here, Ohio State survives. Down to the field to Holly.
Well, JT Barrett, a very dramatic game here. What were you thinking when Michigan State decided to go for two?
I mean, I really wasn't worried. Understand that we put ourselves in these situations all the time. Coach Myers does a great job getting us prepared, and our defense was going to do their job.
For you today, you had to be a great decision maker in these difficult conditions. How were you able to do such a great job running the ball and knowing when to give it up?
I mean, that's something we practiced. We knew throughout the week that it was going to be rough coming up here playing this little snow. And the biggest thing was the wind. So just make sure, like you said, make great decisions and protect the football.
I know Coach Myers said he has not addressed the college football playoff with any of you guys, but you know that now a game against Michigan looms large. How do you approach this week?
We're going to face it like a rivalry game. You know, it's going to be high emotion, high intensity type of game. That's a great football team over there. So with that, we're just going to prepare and practice like any other game.
Thanks, JT.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
17-16. Number 2, Ohio State moves onward. Great one here in East Lansing. Now let's send it back to the studio for the college football scoreboard.